The first thought that comes to mind is having a clear purpose, which, really visualizing success before it starts, right? So when you think about the end of your life, which it's challenging for myself to think about that, if I'm being honest, and I know it's got to be challenging for our listeners as well. You think about, okay, where do I want to be at the end of this year? Right? If you're just breaking it down and not breaking it down, God willing, another 50 years. And when I thought about that quote, David, I was a competitive dancer on the University of Louisville Ladybirds. Go Cards. We are finally turning it around, it's, it's U of L, all of our Cards fans out there. But when I danced, one of the things that we always did, especially when we were training for our nationals, and I was a 2-time national champion. One of the things that I remember impactfully that we always did, so we would run the routine full out, but what she would have us do is lay down on the floor in a circle, and she would play the music, and we would visualize ourselves doing the routine full out. And this is something that I've said before, but if the mind, so it's 90% mental, 10% physical. And at that point, physically, we were exhausted. I mean, we had been practicing for up to 3 hours and a lot of times 2 times a day for 3 hours. So your body was absolutely exhausted. But one thing that she spoke to was if your mind will not go there, your body will not. Right? So that 90% mental, 10% physical, that's so impactful as far as just visualizing yourself doing that. And we would be laying on the floor and twitching, and we looked like crazy people, but I was visualizing myself on the stage at nationals performing the best performance of my life and had no mistakes. So there's so much power in visualizing what is it, even if it's just that next step that you want out of that.
Right. No, I agree with you. That everything happens twice, right? And that again, as far as when we talk about Covey's teachings and beginning with the end in mind and what he speaks to, everything happens twice. And to understand that it's like you said, if that's the visualization or it's the practicing and the planning of that dance that you guys performed. You planned it first, then we practiced it. But before you even practice, you have to plan it. And a visualization is a big thing for me.
Well, yeah, I was just going to add one more thing is, it really is because I took that practice, David, and really applied it to our business. So being in this business for, I guess, coming up on 11 years at this point, at the end of the year, I always wanted our team, our organization, at the time was the Curry Group, I wanted us to be accepting the number 1 spot, right? Based off production, based off all the hard work that we had put in. So many times I would visualize accepting that first place trophy. And that may sound crazy to some, but Jim Carrey wrote himself a check for, what was it, $1 million? I don't know the exact amount back in the early 90s.
I think it was 10. Yeah.
10 million. There we go. $10 million. And, put it out there, right? Put it out in the airwaves for folks to know and for you to have some belief in yourself.